Hi, my name is Rachel Curtis, and I'm here today to talk to you about AAC communication systems. Communicating in a social environment is a necessity in order to live properly within that environment. So whether it's requesting items that you need, communicating your desires, being able to socially acclimate with your peers and those around you, communication is key to be able to thrive in those environments. Now, for those who are not able to communicate, there are some options for assistance. The first option that I was going to talk to you today about is sign language. Now, sign language, American Sign Language, is a whole nother language. Some people get it mixed up with sign language correlating with the language of English. But American Sign Language is its own language and has its own grammar functions. Now, one of the pros in using American Sign Language to communicate is that you don't have to carry around other systems. You don't have to use other systems, whether in your pocket, pull things out, and that kind of thing. It's also not expensive. So once you learn how to use it, you're able to use it with your hands, be able to have those conversations. A few of the cons in using American Sign Language is that not everyone knows and understands American Sign Language. So if you're out and about and you need to communicate something and you're trying to do it through sign language, the listener may not be able to understand what you're trying to communicate, negating the fact that you can communicate. Now, when teaching sign language to individuals who have autism, it's important to know your clientele. So the individual with autism needs to have the fine motor skills to be able to make letter shapes, to be able to make certain signs with their hands. When beginning with American Sign Language, you're going to want to stick with basic words. That's one thing that I've learned through this class. It's not like please or more. You want it to be very specific. So you'll want to start off with terms like ball and or water for what they're needing or wanting. And then once the child is able to kind of go on to that next level, you might teach hungry. So it's hungry. Being able to teach those more bigger concepts. And the next system we're going to talk about today is called PECS, the Picture Exchange System. Now, I don't have the actual system with me, but I drew an example to be able to use. So the PECS system looks a little bit like this. So the yellow kind of represents the Velcro. So we would have maybe 3 Velcro strips. And then on the Velcro, we would have different pictures. Now these pictures are purposely put in place, whether the child is learning 1 or 2 of them and understands the rest, but this is their way to communicate. There are 6 phases of PECS. At the beginning, they're just going to learn just like the American Sign Language, one, massive term at a time. So they may just be focusing on ball. So when a child wants a ball, they would take this card, pull it off the Velcro, and put it down here, and then present it to the instructor. Once they're able to kind of go on to that next step, they may say something like, use some other bigger concepts like I want. So then they would take the card I want and put it down here on the Velcro, and then ball and put it down here on the Velcro. I want ball. Being able to go and take that then to an instructor, the therapist will want them to try to verbalize or vocalize their verbal communication through PECS. But being able to use this gives individuals the ability to use pictures to really set apart what they're trying to communicate. A pro for this system is they don't have to have as much of a fine motor skill that you would have to have in American Sign Language. One of the cons in the system is you could have a book that is full of many different cards. So this would be something that's very complex to carry around, maybe take up a bag. Another pro would be that, people out and about in the community would be able to easily understand "I want ball," versus if they're saying that in sign language, they may not be able to understand what they're trying to say. So for those individuals using this, those are some of the pros and cons. Now, the other system that I'm going to talk to you about is those AAC systems that you can use through an automated box where you're pushing buttons or pushing images, and then they digitalize those phrases or words for you. I actually downloaded an app on my phone. The one that I downloaded is called Let Me Talk, and being able to use it on my phone. The simple version looks like, if I can get it to focus, maybe. Okay, it's a little hard to see, but the system looks a little bit like this, where there we go, where each of these buttons represent something that the person can click on to communicate. So if I am wanting drinks, I would put drinks, and then I can choose different things, and it would help me speak for me.
Water.
Now again, you can do something simple like just saying
apple juice,
the words, or if you're putting together a string of sentences,
to drink water,
and then again,
to drink water.
So that can help you communicate as well. Now, some of the pros with this system is that it is very mobile. You can take it around using a cell phone to be able to use this instead of a bigger machine, or pulling out picture cards. It's much more socially acceptable. Being able to communicate those wants and needs on a phone is much more accessible to you, lightweight. You can download a lot of these systems in any phone for free. You can also go in and add more things to your library. And though this one is a free system, I'm sure there are others too that you can pay that would have more options. One drawback that I noticed with this is that some of the phrases sound a little off key. Trying to remember what word.
Apple.
But some of the words sounded a little off, like they weren't pronounced correctly. But that may be kind of a downfall, but having the picture there helps as well. So using this system is great. You don't have to manipulate objects. You have your phone with you at all times. Any person in the everyday, community would be able to understand whether you're showing it to them or speaking. I believe it was this one.
Glasses.
It just sounds different. It doesn't sound like a typical way someone would say glasses.
Glasses.
So those are some of the positives and negatives with using this system, and especially on a mobile device. So regardless of the system that you choose to use, it's important to understand that each system is very individualized, and it's important to find the system that works best for that individual and their family. There are some new studies coming out now with using, though there are very few, of using multiple systems in order to communicate, and what the best way to do that would be. So thank you so much for letting me show you those three AAC uses and how they would be used throughout the community. Thank you.